I'm going to step through a hotkey error that I had today while I was trading. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm entering into a trade going long on TSM with a stop at 174.49. And then at the same time, I'm going to go short on NVIDIA with a different stop. And so my variable for my stop is going to get set initially at 174.49, but then when I go short, my stop is going to get overwritten. So I'm just going to kind of walk through this. So my stop is defined here at 174.49, and then I'm going to go short right here. So now my stop got defined here is at 132.65. And so I don't have this at a per ticker level. I just have like my stop is simply a number. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit this TSM trade. So I exited right there. And so when I did that, in order for me to exit this trade, in order for me to know, because remember, I'm short one stock and I'm long one stock, and I don't really have a systematic way to say this one's long and this one's short. And so I calculate all this in my logic based on the myStop variable. So whenever I exited this trade, I had to reset my stop down to like below the current ask to basically tell my logic, hey, this is a long trade, but I'm actually short NVIDIA still. And what I forget to do is when I try to exit this trade, so I put in an order to exit, but I forgot to redefine my stop. And so my stop is still my stop for TSM, which had a totally different price. So its price was like a 170, 174 or whatever it was. Whereas the my stop for NVIDIA is 132.20. So they're completely different prices. And so what actually happens is when I get filled here, I'm trying to exit the order. I actually entered a new order. And so I actually added to my short position as opposed to getting out of that position because my stop was my stop for TSM. So I recognize this fact, and then I just I manually exit the order just with a buy order here. But this is an example of where since I'm long one position, short another position, my stop logic is based upon my current position relative to the ask, and my stop relative to the ask. And then when I'm in one order, I always have to go and replace my stop. And maybe I can just play that again for you. Yeah, so when I do, maybe I should include just a little bit more video here. Trying to find where it is. But when I put this stop order in, I forget to double click up here to redefine my stop to tell my system that my stop is greater than the ask, which means it's a short order. So it thinks it's a long, and so it attempts to stop out of a long position, which means go short in a sell in a short position, which added to my position. And again, all of this can be solved by being able to add a object on a per ticker basis. And so if I can add a myStop and then also add maybe whether or not I'm long or short a specific ticker, that way I can manage my logic better.